So here at Blake's Baits, we've recently added to our range in the form of the Skimmers Dark. It's exactly what it says. It's produced mainly for skimmers. You can catch F1s and carp over it, but I designed this ground bait purposely for skimmers in mind. So a lot of people have been asking me, how do you mix it? Dead simple. If you stick to this sort of ratio, you ain't going to go far wrong. So if you want a really wet mix, you can actually go 1 part water, 1 part ground bait. But what I like to do is go 2 parts ground bait, 3 parts ground bait to 2 parts water. So to start off with, I'll get my ground bait. I'm going to mix up 3 pints. So 3 pints of ground bait into the tub. And there, and that's a third one. Just level them off. And then to that now, like I said, if you want it really, really damp, you can put the same amount of water in. It'll go like a soup and then it'll come back round. It's exactly what it is a sweet smelling pellet mix. So with this, I like to do 2 parts water. So I'm going to take my first water straight in there. Don't worry about adding it in little bits. The pellets will absorb a lot of it. So I've got just under 1 there. I'm going to add a tidgy bit more. So that's 3 parts ground bait, 2 pints water. And then what I like to do, give it a swirl round, get all that water moving about, and then get my hand in and just start to mix it. So as I'm doing this now, what'll happen is the ground bait, you'll see it start to thicken up as we move along. So at the moment, you've got this sort of real sloppy consistency, and you can see the water in there really starting to take and absorb now. And then what I want to do, so it's fully damp, I want this to be an inert mix. So when you're mixing it, don't worry about mixing it on the dry side. Try and mix it so it's really damp and it'll come back to life. I'm going to leave that to stand now for sort of 5-10 minutes, come back to it, it'll absorb that water, then I can pass it through a riddle and you'll see the end finish. Right, so I've let this ground bait set now for about 5 minutes. You can see it's a little bit of a mess. All I'll do now is I'll just turn it round in my hand just to loosen it up. You're going to have an odd lump and stuff here, but don't worry about that because it'll come out nice. So just free it away from the bucket, put it into my riddle. Probably want a little bit less than this, to be honest. This will probably last me all winter. You don't need tons of it. So now what I'm going to do, start to pass it through the riddle, shake off any little bits and then just push it through. And what I've got here now is a real damp mix. You can actually get it damper than this, and like I said, if you mix it as a 1-to-1 ratio, you'll get the dampest possible mix. I wouldn't personally advise that. I like to do it this way, 2 parts water, 3 parts ground bait, and that way you can adjust it to suit. If you want it a little bit drier, maybe start with 1 part water, but what you'll find is this mix will take on a lot of water. So get that away now, get rid of that, and what you'll see is you're left with a real soft, fluffy texture, a nice, sweet smelling pellet based ground bait, perfect for skimmers, exactly what I was looking for. When it comes to mixing, it couldn't be easy. You can't really overdo this. If you stick to that ratio, 2 parts water to 3 parts ground bait, you cannot go wrong. If I want it a little bit wetter, say I want to feed it a little bit stodgier, then all I'll do, add more water to it, and then I can sort of get it even damper still. It will take on a little bit more water than this, but that is perfect now, just to feed little soft balls if I want to do that. You know, this time of the year, you're probably only talking about feeding little balls that sort of size anyway. But that's how you mix the new Skimmer Dark mix. Real nice mix, perfect for skimmers and F1s even. So don't just be fooled by the name, it can also catch you F1s and carp as well.